This is Nansemond River on Legendary difficulty. And we get we get over 7 to 1. So it's very good. I lose less than 3,000 men. I'm going to bring in units of 1,800 because I expect this to be very, very bloody. As you know, there's a fort. Um, this is the organization I'm kind of looking at going in, and I'm thinking about what kind of army I want to bring. I decided to go with, in the end, four. Um, yeah, and as I mentioned, 78 reputation is a huge problem because you get a ton of reputation after this battle. You get 38 after just at Chancellorsville alone. You get more than what it says because of the follow-on battle. So, yeah, you'll notice that armory goes up a lot in this battle. That's because the enemy gets a shipment of weapons. I think I know it's a random event. So, yeah, what I end up going with is I end up going with a lot of artillery in this battle. 4 20-pound Parrots, and then several batteries of 24-pound howitzers, as you will see. And so this is an artillery-heavy army, and I did this with Whitworths and all the Whitworths I had, and it doesn't work. And I didn't think it was going to work, but I wanted to try. And the reason is Whitworths kill, but they kill too slowly. In this battle, you have to move your 20-pound Parrots up and get them firing on the artillery inside of the fort as fast as possible. It's absolutely crucial because you have to kill them before they can kill the ironclads. When the ironclads die, you lose visibility inside the fort, so you can no longer target enemy artillery inside of the fort. So the way you win this battle is as soon as the ironclads come online, your 4 20-pound Parrots start killing the guns inside of the fort, so they're dead before you attack the fort. Then the battle's easy, and you're going to get, like in this case, on Legendary, 7 to 1. And yeah, notice that I'm really surprised that he has a 2-star skirmisher unit. His infantry 3-star, that's expected. But that skirmisher unit at only 2 stars, that's interesting. So I have 3 batteries of 24-pound howitzers moving up to the woods, and my 4 batteries of 20-pound Parrots. Yeah, they're pitching in, but basically their job is to get ready to kill what's inside of the fort. So, yeah, I can't fight the enemy in the woods and win, but the 24-pound howitzers can drive the enemy out of the woods by the time I'm ready to attack the fort, if that makes sense. So I have plenty of time for my 24-pound howitzers to do good work. Why my supply wagon is in the wrong place and my officer is nowhere near the fighting, I don't know. That's stupid. So, yeah, I'm so excited about playing with all this long-range artillery that I screwed that up. But there goes the officer finally getting in position. I have the first clump of wood secured, and once I get the artillery up online, then we'll start working on the next clump. Now, if you have watched this on Legendary, you know that the AI is going to attack very aggressively with all this 3-star cav that is on the very north part of the map. So I want to put the Iron Brigade in the far north to deal with that, and then hopefully the Iron Brigade and detached skirmishers and 3 batteries of 24-pound howitzers will make short work of the enemy in that position. So, yeah, I'm making extensive use of detached skirmishers because this is very dangerous. The enemy has a lot of artillery and it's really good. So right now, that enemy unit is standing in water, so his cover is terrible, and we can do extra damage to him with everything I'm hitting him with. So yeah, he's just bait. My detached skirmishers can come up and hit this other guy in the flank, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And if I can get some free shots on his cav, that would be good too. So everything's going really well. I have time to move my couple 20-pound Parrots up north, and we can take lots of shots on his artillery. Now we go to the next phase. The ironclads come in, and I can see his his units inside of the fort. I need to kill him faster than he kills the ironclads. And what I decided to do is, normally I would gang up all 4 guns against one battery and kill it, and then go to the next battery and the next battery. But I need to diminish the damage that he's doing to the ironclads. So what I do is I spread the damage out. And the only thing you have to do is you have to keep checking to make sure your guns are firing at his artillery and not shifting fire to something else. So, yeah, he's doing huge damage to his ironclads. You know, and the ironclads are popping up flanked, which is screwed up. How the ironclads are being flanked, I don't know, but they shouldn't be. But you've got to bring death and destruction on his guns, because on Legendary, he's going to kill those ironclads fast. And then the entire fort goes black, and you can't see his artillery, which means you have to go into the fort to see his guns. And if you get close to those guns, you are going to bleed to death. Those artillery units are really super deadly. And all 3 stars and horrible. So I have his infantry in a really horrible position right now. He's in the open or he's in water. He's taking hits. I'm getting shots on his artillery. His infantry unit up there is being hit in the flank. I have detached skirmishers keeping his cav busy, but I have 2 infantry units backing up the detached skirmishers if he decides to charge. And the trick is, if anything gets into melee, have lots of death and destruction firing into the melee, but also it's good if you can get any melee attacks or fights that are 2-to-1. So there's no way to avoid a melee attack if he decides to charge with the cav, and you can't fall back fast enough. But what you can do is get in 2-to-1 with his cav and tear it up. So, yeah. Now I can't get close to his fort as long as he has artillery. But as long as he wants to stand in the open, I can exchange shots with him. Like his infantry right there is going to lose big time. Yeah, and just make sure my guns are firing at his artillery the whole time. So now I want to stay in the woods and stay in good cover, bring the artillery up, and yeah, keep hitting him. Just keep hitting him while he's in the open. Hopefully like right now his cav is in the open, get shots on him, really make it hurt. I am happy to exchange shots with him across that road if he wants to do that. While I roll up the artillery, he's going to lose that, because when my 3 batteries of 24-pound howitzers get up there, he's going to eat canister. But the main thing that's happening is I'm killing his guns inside of the fort faster than he's killing the ironclads. One of the ironclads is about to die, but we're actually in really good shape. But again, you have to keep making sure that your long-range guns are focused on his batteries inside of the fort. And it's been a while since I've checked, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens when I check. I should be checking more frequently than I am. I bet some of my long-range guns are not shooting where they're supposed to. I bet they're shooting at some infantry or something. Now that's a surprise. His line in the woods just broke. 2 infantry units just broke. I didn't expect that. I did not expect that. And his battery, he has 24-pound howitzers and 10-pound parrots, and I'm guessing that's a 24-pound howitzer broke and fell back. Of course, you know, everybody recovers in 2 seconds, but that's okay. So his guy in the open there is going to get slaughtered. He has 1 unit in the woods who's going to get hit by lots of canister. He's not going to do it. Now his cav charges. Okay, that's inevitable. I expect his cav to charge. But I thought he was going to get into melee, but he just shot his pistols, I guess, and backed off. So he probably has Lamottes. 3-star units. Yeah, all this is going really, really well. Oh, my artillery is actually doing what I want it to do. So, one of the ironclads is dead, you'll notice. So we're down to 2, and I'm looking at 1. He's down to 90-something, and he's gonna eventually die. And and there's not going to be much left of the third. So, you know, this is a very close thing. If you kill all of his artillery, this is an easy battle. If he kills your ironclads, this is going to be a costly battle. Yeah, and like I said, the experiment with the Whitworths was that the Whitworths do half the damage of the 20-pound Parrott and did not kill his guns fast enough. It was a fun experiment, but I just wanted to see how they do. And I've been talking about running an experiment with the Whitworths just to see how good they were. Notice I had a detached skirmisher that is routing to the south. Your detached skirmishers will not stand up long against his artillery. Yeah, we actually get into melee, I think, with his cav, but with my artillery and 2 infantry units, notice the losses he's taking. So he gets into melee with my detached skirmishers, but then everything fires into him, and his units are down under 400. That was really good. That was really good for me, and now those units are really degraded because of all the canister they took. So I thought I might be able to take the woods, but no, he's still too strong. That'd be way too costly, and there's no reason to go in there yet. And the thing that I found out when I finally go in there is that I'm close enough to his guns that while my units sit in the woods with magnificent cover, he kills 400 of my infantry, which I want you to pay attention to. His guns are really deadly, and I'm not in canister range, but he's able to fire at my troops inside the woods that are not doing anything but just sitting there and inflict, I'm real sure, I thought at the time it was 400 casualties while I'm killing the last of his artillery. So yeah, those guns are really good, and he has the 2nd ironclad down to under 80. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm hoping that little tiny cav unit gets in melee. I charge him. I have 2 detached skirmishers, an infantry firing in. Hopefully the artillery fires, and he's gone. That was sweet. Love that. Hopefully we'll do it again. And that infantry unit has 61s. So, yeah, I'm going to hit you. My unit's 1,500. You're in the open. He's down to about 300. Rather than fight that infantry unit at close range, I let my guns do their job, and he finally routed. His infantry's been destroyed in the north. His position has been really weakened, and his artillery numbers for his guns are really dropping. But I'm looking at my ironclads, and they're getting really small. So one of them's down to 70. We really, really need to take that artillery out as fast as we can. So hopefully this infantry unit that is moving up will just charge into the open. But yeah, my 24-pound howitzers are doing a job. They're just grinding him down, and it's terrific. As I'm watching the video, the one thing I'm doing wrong is I need to check my 20-pound Parrots more frequently just to make sure that they're firing on his artillery. You cannot go a period of time without hitting that artillery. You have to keep on target. So yeah, detached skirmishers, he fires into them. They take less damage. Then my infantry moves forward and takes a shot on his cav. He's going to lose that. So he has a sniper in the water. I would like to get shots on that guy. Hates snipers. His skirmisher units hate them with a white, hot, fiery hatred. And yeah, the big deciding factor up here are the 3 batteries of 24-pound howitzers. That's the big, big factor in the north. So yeah, his skirmisher unit is dead. Now I'm in a, yeah, his artillery in the far north just died, and I'm going to kill that cav in just a second. Now it's completely a question of who are my where are my batteries firing at? Yeah, I really should be checking more frequently to make sure they're not shooting at the wrong thing. So, we have destroyed him in the north. Taking all of these woods is not necessary because the closer you get to his guns, the more it's going to hurt. We're actually in a good position right here. Letting him come up into the water is great. I want him to do that all day. He can stand in the water. My batteries are in a good position. My infantry's in a great position. Yeah. And there's no reason to move my infantry closer to his guns. So I'm making sure that they're all still focused. I think, having done this, that taking out one battery at a time is my usual technique, and it's probably the best technique here. Notice how one of the ironclads is down to 55. I think that's what it is. It's a little blurry. But I think that his guns may have shifted to my infantry at this point. Now I'm moving my infantry too close. So he just took a bunch of losses. I think that's too close. I think he went the infantry back a bit. That's too close to his guns. His guns are really deadly. This is not like Brigadier General or Major General. His guns are to be feared. And I think they've shifted. The good news is they've shifted to my infantry, giving me more time, because what they should do is focus on the ironclads. And then I'd lose visibility. The good news is they've shifted to my infantry. The bad news is my infantry are now going to hemorrhage casualties. And that's not good. So yeah, they went in there at almost 1,600. They should come out of there. They'll be lucky to come out of there at 1,400. Okay, one of his artillery, the one I was focusing on, is dead. That's really, really good news. Again, as I'm looking at this, I'm not checking frequently enough to see who my units are focused on. And with one of them being dead, I am not sure that my guns are focused on, all my guns are focused on artillery, because the units that were focused on the guy who died will just shift to whatever's closest, and that is not good. So yeah, notice my infantry taking hits, man, that's bad. So yeah, I just checked my 20-pound Parrots. Man, he's down to 1,400 already. So he went in there at about 1,600, and he's already down to 1,410. Now, imagine if you went in there at close range after those guys. Imagine what a bloody mess that would be. Absolutely terrible. My 24Hs are really too far away to be shooting at his artillery, but I have nothing else for them to do, and I'm willing to pay anything just to kill. You know, if they can kill anything and take them out, because while I'm sitting here in 100% cover, my infantry is just taking huge losses. So anything my guys can do to suppress his fire is good. Yeah, and I'm targeting him one at a time. And if I can take out, he's down to 142. And man, I just want to kill this guy. So there's a fairly long period of time where we're just going to exchange shots. And while I'm killing him, he's killing my infantry. And that is painful. So I detach some skirmishers for them to take some shots instead of my infantry. And maybe even get him to charge, so my 24-pound howitzers can do something constructive. But he's going to rout my detached skirmishers like right away. So him coming out of the fortification is actually a good thing for me. The more he comes out of those fortifications, the more my 24-pound howitzers, but my detached skirmishers cannot stand up to a combination of his infantry and artillery any more than, you know, his units can stand up to concentrated infantry and artillery fire. So, yeah. Yeah, that one detached skirmisher is so unhappy. He's trying to run away completely off the map. Look at him go. He's just running away. So yeah, it looks like I think I killed the last one finally, and so I have the one ironclad is almost dead, and the second one is down to 100, I think. So we got it done. Now I'm moving up my artillery to get them within exploding shell range. I'm spreading out my infantry. The best way to approach this fort is actually from the south, where you have cover, of course, and to support your attack with artillery. Um, and watch what happens when I get these 20-pound parrots up and they start pounding on this infantry. The 24-pound howitzers, of course, are going to tear him up. But watch how much damage these, I mean, it's just a slaughter. Um, the 20-pound parrots are going to get moved up very quickly, and it's going to be a just devastating kill zone for his infantry. There's going to be no place to go, no escape. I don't want to advance really with the infantry from the north and get his units, because his units will all try to flee to the north. That's their default retreat route. And so I really don't want to get them to do that. So yeah, I'm moving the 24-pound howitzers up as close as I can. And now I have the 24-pound howitzers up. The detached skirmisher that was supposed to block my artillery routed. No big surprise. And now I have most of my artillery up where I want them. And watch what happens when these guys unload. So now they're going to unload. They're in range. And it's a party. This is really good. Yeah, go ahead and retreat right there into the water. That'd be great. Yeah, my ironclads are still firing. So, you know, they're still firing at him from one side. My 20-pound parrots are firing exploding shells on the enemy. The 24-pound howitzer is hitting him with good fire. I have no intention of going in here into melee, because when you're in melee and he has 5 or 6 units, it doesn't work. I mean, it's just crazy, and you don't really win. You take way too many losses. So I just want to bring a lot of fire on these guys, keep my losses down as much as possible. And yeah, all of his units are just flashing white, taking damage, unable to defend themselves, even though they're in tremendous cover inside the fort. Doesn't do them a bit of good. And I'm just going to hit them and hit them and hit them again with artillery and infantry fire. His one unit has 1,200. I could get into melee with him, but I don't want to because right behind him are like 3 units. So we're just going to keep tearing him up, degrading him with fire, as long as he's a big clump of troops. Yeah, I don't want any part of that. So his one unit surrendered just from, I guess, fire from all directions. He's down to 2 units. So now we can get into melee. If I can catch one of his units and get 2-on-1, we can capture him. And there's one. And this last guy, we should be able to capture him by hitting him with several units at once. And he'll either shatter or be captured. And he's taking a lot of fire right now. And yeah, captured him too. So yeah, ended up 2,400 and killed almost 18,000. Over 7-1. Very good battle. This can be a really, really bloody battle. I would have lost many thousands more if I'd had to charge into the fort, into the face of his artillery. We were able to keep our losses down. It's great. It's all good. So yeah, and then the thing coming out of the battle, his armory went up 11 points because he got a shipment, and yeah, so there's that. Okay, for units, 24-pound howitzers. Let's see, I'm curious what his artillery units did, what kind of damage they did. One of his artillery units killed 600, another one killed 400. Yeah, I was lucky. That could have been much worse. One of my units lost 900, but my 24-pound howitzer killed 1,400. 24-pound howitzers were, right up there, 1,300. 20-pound parrots killed about 800. We got another 3-star, and I got CS Richmonds and Fayetteville's. That is a big deal. CS Richmonds, Fayetteville's, 24-pound howitzers. Yeah, the enemy has really good weapons on Legendary, and yeah. So one of my units got a star. Look at all those 3-stars, and I'm just swimming in 3-stars. On Legendary, you're just going to kill a lot, and you're going to get huge promotions. Particularly like I'm doing right now, I'm driving up scaling with these big units. And I'm checking to see if I can replace all these guys with raw recruits. It's looking pretty good. Another 3-star unit for artillery. And I'm going to have to, look, I'm at 83, and I'm going to get 38 reputation. Here is the sheet that says a big shipment of weapons, and they're going to unload the shipment. Thousands of imported weapons from Europe, and the armory goes up, a bunch of points. So able to drive down army size, able to drive down training, armory jumped. Not unhappy about that. I'll take Fayetteville's. So yeah, I'll be real surprised. The training is, or the armory may go up high enough that I start to capture 20-pound parrots. So I really don't know where I'm going to put my career points. Um, I am afraid of the siege of Suffolk. That's going to be the next battle because of what happened to Aetius here. That was a scary battle to watch. The enemy can just run right over top of you if you're unlucky and crush you. So I'm going to get ready for that battle. I'm real apprehensive about it on Legendary, and I'll see you there.